equals and toString. You may not have heard of them before, but you're going to be using them a lot and creating them. When we're working with instance variables, things change. The values within those instance variable changes, okay? They evolve and they develop. We need to be able to retrieve them to use them, all right? Nothing new. Accessors, getters, allow us to do those things. But we've got some other methods, and it's important that we're able to test for equality between the variables' values, okay? We need to be able to display instance variables' values. We want to know what's the name of this person, and we saw that earlier where we've gone, I think it was person 1 get first name in that sense, or person get first name, so that we could get the name of the person. Now, when it comes to equality with things like integers, we use this, don't we? We use the double equals sign. Okay, now by convention, that means your classes will still compile, but the convention used is all classes are going to have at least 2 other methods. The first one is the equals method. Now this method tests for the equality of 2 objects. And the other one is the toString method. toString. We want to export, if you like, the values that are stored within the instance variables to a string so that we can see it. Okay, so toString generates a string representation of the state of the object, the state information, the values in the variables, the values in the instance variables. Now, with a toString, it is totally and utterly up to the developer to decide how they're going to display this in a meaningful way. So here is our toString in pseudocode. Person string, okay, is what it exports. It returns a string, and all I'm saying is person string is assigned, and I've said first name is, and then I get the first name. Family name is, so that'll be a nice string that prints out or can be stored and then used. Okay? Now, equals. We say with equals, for 2 objects to be equal, they must be of the same class and the state of each instance variable must be the same. That is, the values in each instance variables must be equal. So, person, we create person 1 and we need and create person 2. To check if they're equal, we go get the first name, get the family name, and we go through each one of the instance variables from person 1 and person 2, and we check, are their values the same? If their values are the same, if their values are equal, then we say the objects are equal. Here is the pseudocode for the equals method. It's importing an object, okay? And we start off going, we set our variable to false, and we go through looking at the object and checking, is our object of type person in this case? Okay, if it is, we now name it in person, and we're going to check each variable, each class field for its value, okay? And we're checking if they are the same. If they are, is equal is true. All right. Our toString. Here's our toString in Java. Pretty straightforward, okay? String, person, string, we're saying it returns a string, returns the person string, and we've just extracted the information we need, and we've returned it. That's it. Very simple, very straightforward. But by convention, equals and toString are required. In Java, here is our equals method, okay? Straightforward, very straightforward from our pseudocode, but I realize it might not be as straightforward as I would like you to think it is. And we're just going through it and we're checking each thing to ensure it is correct, to ensure that from the object, the in object, each one of the instance variables in this object, in object, are equal of the same value as this one here, our current object. That's it. Let's have a look at this in action in a program. We've got person app3 and we're going to create 3 person objects. All right, so we've created them, or we've declared them. They've now been created and initialized. And here in this if statement, we are checking out equals. Are they equals? So person1 dot equals. So in person1, the equals method, and we're passing into it person2. And then that goes off and does its stuff. And if person1 dot equals person2, we're going to get that message. All right, pretty cool. And then I've used here the toString and we print it out. Straightforward. But these are the programs you want to be taking, changing, playing with them, and getting an understanding as to how it all works. That's why you've got the sample code. So, what happens when we start to use methods? Okay, we need to know 3 things, and hopefully by now you're aware of them, but now we're going to explicitly state them. We need to know the method name, we need to know the parameters, and we need to know the return type. Those are the 3 things we need when it comes to invoking or calling a method. What's its name? If you don't know its name, you can't call it. If you don't know the parameters it needs, you can't call it. If you don't know the method return type, it's difficult to call because you might be expecting something else, and we're going to have a problem. So using methods is straightforward as long as we know the name, the parameters, and the return type.